It's time for another blind taste. And this time it's going to be quite a bit bigger than last time. Because the cabinet has become rather full. What have we done? Some you'll recognise from before, some you won't. But all of them are going to be blind tasted. That should do it. If you've seen our first blind tasting video, where we took the first Ardmore Legacy and then bought 24 more to try and work out, is there something better, meaning is there something more that we enjoy? And it's now got completely out of control, as you've just seen, bringing the bottles up. But when this all started, this was all to do with the idea that we don't actually drink that much. And if we're going to drink something, it should be the most enjoyable, whatever that means. But in doing that, then we've ended up drinking a lot more. But we are basically fitness people more than drinking people. And so we do imagine that we've got an alcohol budget.
You make a species.
Yeah, but that's not important. The alcohol budget is the idea that you've got a certain amount you can drink and stay healthy. And if you're going to drink something and it has a limit, then you may as well try and drink the best.
Of course.
But the best doesn't always mean the most expensive or the most complex. It might just be, depends what mood you're in though, doesn't it?
So complicated.
And also we had this discussion about whether a whiskey is a whiskey that you would drink with a movie or while you're doing something else,
Oh, yes.
or socially,
It's different.
or whether it's going to be something where the whiskey itself is the event. And so if you're having a whiskey that's typically probably going to be older and more expensive, that really draws your attention, or maybe not, maybe it's just Ardbeg 10 or something that really draws your attention, then you don't want to be doing other things with that. So what percentage do we want to be drinking more movie style versus actually focusing on the whiskey?
I prefer to focus on whiskey. That was for me 90%.
Okay.
And whiskey event.
So the event
Because
is more
I
important.
value so much the process.
Right, because that is part of the enjoyment, is actually paying attention and learning. So our bias then is towards trying to find a whiskey that would be something that takes our attention, something that is that you don't want to interrupt it.
Absolutely.
Now Ardmore Legacy wouldn't be in that category,
Not anymore.
because this is more like you're having ice cream or something. You know, but it probably won't fit inside the alcohol budget if we find lots of other event whiskies. So, as part of trying to find it though, you have to go and explore lots of other whiskies to find out what you think is good or bad.
I probably buy all the whiskey.
I thought we did buy all the whiskies. So, and the other thing we realised is that from the blind tasting, it was so much fun not knowing what you were drinking. And actually quite like to stay uneducated in a way, because it's more fun to discover for yourself. And so the idea of continuing to blind taste everything that we've bought is ridiculous and fun at the same time, I think. How do you feel about doing more blind tasting?
Because it is more intense.
It's more intense?
So it's got attention
Yeah.
to something unknown. You become more focused.
Yeah, because you literally don't know what you're supposed to be thinking. You're fully struggling to make a decision. And obviously, we're really bad at it, and we've made so many mistakes. That is funny as well.
Very upfront.
So let's just keep going with the challenge. And we also realize that, okay, if this is where we started, and if someone could tell us what is the whiskey that we will find the most enjoyable, I wouldn't actually want to know the answer.
Not yet.
Not yet, because the fun of finding it is the path to get there. I don't really want to just arrive. And so the actual fun of all of this is the path with its dead ends and mistakes and all of that stuff, and not the actual destination. So although we are searching for quality of some kind, because we don't want to just drink, we don't want to get there instantly. We actually want to prolong the journey and have delayed gratification and have mistakes and adventures
It is
along
just
the way.
hiking.
Yeah, like hiking. So our challenge is actually to find the most interesting path
Oh,
to
beautiful.
the destination, and not the destination itself. Yeah. And so by doing it all blind, there's much more chance of falling over. Or being honest, at least. So obviously, we brought up a lot of whiskies. If I put the time lapse in the video, I'm sure I did. There's no way we're going to drink all of these and then make it one video, because you'll have to wait a very long time to get an answer. So this is going to be an ongoing weekly blind tasting reveal type of thing. But more on that later. First, we've got to prepare some whiskies. Let's say we start with Ardmore Legacy. Obviously we've had this one before. What we're going to do is, I've got a few bottles ready. Each one is going to hold about 200 ml, 250 maybe. They've all been washed and prepared. All right. Smells of whiskey already. Leave a little bit of air in the top. Now we do want to give ourselves some hints, unlike last time, because we really got thrown by the ABV. And so I'm going to give ourselves a few clues. And I also want to have some clues that we can unveil a little bit at a time. And so the first thing we're going to do is, on the outside, we're going to simply mark it as either 48% plus ABV or not. So if it's not, then obviously it's likely to be a 40, a 43, a 46. If it's a 48 all the way up to 60 whatever cask strength, we'll just mark it as 48 plus. At least that will give us a little warning that just maybe we are going to need some help with some water. Then the other things I want to reveal, if we need it to give us some help, is like to tear off a little bit that will actually give us the ABV. because maybe it's 48 or maybe it's 68, big difference. Then we would be able to water it down, try again. If we're still struggling, maybe the next thing we want to know is the age. Because with the age, because there's at least one bottle which is very old, 40-year blend. So obviously that would want to sit in the glass a very long time probably before we taste it, 40 minutes presumably, but you know. So the next thing we could tear off if we need some more help would be age. Then as we're trying to decide whether we like it or not, because by the time we know the age, the ABV, we've watered it down, we've let it sit in the glass, we've tasted it, by that time we can give it our own score.
Before we go to the next step.
Then we can reveal what it actually cost, and from that we'll know what score that we think it should have. So for example, Ardmore Legacy, we paid $42 for this, and on our scale that would need to score an 86 to be worth it. And we've given this a score on 2 occasions. We've given it an 87 and an 86. So it is good value, we think. But there's another cutoff where we've said, but we don't really want to be blowing our alcohol budget on lesser things.
We mean our liver.
Save our liver. So we've kind of said 89, or it might even be a 90. Saying 90 and above is going to be acceptable, even if it's good value. I'm not sure yet. But at that point we'd know what the score is. We'd be able to give it our score versus what it's supposed to be, and whether it's good value or not. And then the last bit of revealing would be us maybe having a guess of what type of whiskey it is. So we could reveal the region, we could reveal the distillery, and if we're still guessing, obviously we reveal the name and we find out what it actually is. And then we roll it back into the ranking with the other whiskies that we've previously tasted. And things like Legacy, the original 24, except for the ones that are empty, we have rolled these back in as well. So it'd be funny to see if they turn up. Well, it'll be interesting to see where they turn up. So I think the idea with this is, I'm just going to write on the inside just to be sure. Ardmore Legacy. So this is what we'll have. An anonymous bottle that we can write notes on. And if we need some help, we can take this and we can peel the first bit off where we can read 40 on there. And if we want more information, we can peel more until we end up with the reveal.
Wonderful.
All right, we've got quite a lot more to go.
I mean,
How many more? We can count as we go. I forgot to say, I've also got some gas, so that if we want to, we can gas the expensive bottles, just to make sure they stay fit for when we come back. All right? 1. this one is a 40-year-old blend. I just wanted to experience what something old tastes like. Very curious about it, but who knows when it's going to show up. So gassing it. Just to make sure it's fresh. Maybe it's the last bottle that comes out in the blind taste. Maybe it's the first one. I mean, it could be months, could be a year. I don't know. How long is it going to take us to get there? 1 a week? Could be more than a year. That is, let's see, berries, 40-year blend. That's it.